May we have a good podcast. May we thank you for another day on this earth to build, to connect,
Right.
and to inspire others, right?
Tomorrow, again after 5 years, I might be having the same scenario of leaving my job.
It's kind of like you're a detective and you want to go and ask questions to figure out what is in their world. For people in the beginning, they don't even ask questions to really find out where the battleship is. Stories are really powerful for getting past the logical mind and into the emotional mind of the person.
I'm just saying that why will someone buy a particular product?
You don't know what you don't know. And people watching this might even not understand what I'm saying now.
When your people around, smarter people around, you'll be the sixth one in the room who is the smartest one.
So my advice to people, like I looked at, what is the worst thing that could happen? What is the nightmare?
I left a job without having any backup. If you fall something, what will your bed look? Most of the people will enjoy the deep conversation. Hi everyone, this is Dhanush and we have Brax today.
Hello.
Brax comes with a good expertise on sales and psychology. So right? He is a good salesman and is able to understand people well. So let's deep dive and understand what Brax has learned until now. Let's get some good insights and see what is a good learning, right? So welcome to my channel, Brax.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here, Dhanush.
Thank you, Brax. It's been almost 10 days we knew each other. I think it all started in our airport. We started the basic conversation, right? I know that you've been part of sales and psychology for a couple of years. And I thought, let me get on my channel and see where and all we can learn something about your expertise, something that. And how was your day? How did you start your day? Was it good?
Yeah, it was good. I slept a little bit later than I wanted to. Went to bed around 11:30. I've been going to bed around 10 and waking up at 5. So today I woke up around 7, sleeping a little bit later. And I got a burn session at 11 and was trying to do the cold plunge sauna, which is great here, but it wasn't really working. Went to a talk by Balaji and that was great. Got to connect with a lot of long-termers here, which was awesome. People who are staying for 12 months or more.
Interesting. I think that let's discuss in the last, why I'll be asking why you chose to be a long-term or something that. But before just diving into something, let me just understand background, what you do or what's your big journey until now. I just want to understand that part.
Yeah, great. So I grew up in Southern California. And I went to college in Shanghai, China, and then I went back to America, did sales job in San Francisco at Yelp, doing phone sales. I was selling the advertising or having businesses sign up for advertising on Yelp. And then I got into doing my own business. It was Amazon, selling a product on Amazon. And after that, because the revenue didn't scale quick enough for me to go full time, I went back into sales. I did door to door. So I go door to door and I was selling. It's called Vivint. And it's kind of like the Ring doorbell, but it's a different brand for home security. And after that, that was a very short period of time. And the person who got me into that, they were starting a solar company in Florida. So I went to do door to door for over 2 years, selling residential solar panels. So you were mentioning earlier psychology and sales. There's definitely a strong relation. Psychology is understanding the mind, but when you do sales, it's like applied psychology. It's saying what actually works to get the sale, because you can have all these cool ideas about what might work, but the results need to show. So I was a student of the mind, but then I went and actually got experience to see what truly worked.
Interesting, yeah. I think it was a kind of roller coaster for you, applied sales and something like that, right? But I think that you have a solid foundation on sales. But what do you think, one of the common mistake people do in sales? What do you think? General mistake. Most of the people will be doing the same sales mistake.
Yeah, I think the biggest type of mistakes I see beginners do is they go out there and they're speaking a lot. They learn a lot about the product, and often that's because they feel like a sense of insecurity. They're like, I don't know how to really sell, so, and they latch on to the details of the product. They memorize it and they're like, okay, I know all the details of my product and the competitors of why it's better. And then they just start like a fire hydrant, like someone trying to drink from a fire hydrant. Have you ever tried that? It's just gushing water. That's how the customer feels.
So you're just basically saying that people are just over giving the information about certain products which need not be done while doing sales.
Yeah, and they're sharing stuff before they even learn about the customer a little bit better. So there's questions you can ask to set up the sale to be more precise, because there's differences between customers. So being able to identify, we called it the hot button in door-to-door.
Nice.
It's the pain. Once you identify their pain, that is what gets them to truly move and to say, I want to buy this product or service. So it's really about, it's kind of like you're a detective and you want to go and ask questions to figure out what is in their world. And there's a fun game called Battleship. You play where you guess where the person's battleship is. You say F4, E5, and you miss, hit. And so this is kind of what sales is. You ask questions to see where their battleship of pain is. And once you hit it, then you start to ask more about it to learn. And then you show how your product can help get rid of that pain. And if they're a little bit on the fence, that's when you come back to say, hey, you have this problem, you have this pain, and this will fix it. Go ahead and purchase. So this is the basic of it. The people in the beginning that don't even ask questions to really find out where the battleship is, where the pain is. They just say, my product's amazing, it has these features. So, and then that's one more is features tell, benefits sell. It's a famous saying in sales.
I think you gave us a good insight saying that you just ask the customer what they actually need. Then you can just pitch your product or whatever you are selling for. I just understand that you say people buy something, right? Why will the people buy something? Is it because there's some logic or there's an emotion? Like, is it stuck with something and that's the reason they buy some product or services? What do you think? Is it just a logic or an emotion? Just give a summary, like how things work here.
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's both logical and emotional humans at the same time. Some people are going to be more logical. Others are going to be more emotional. And it's part of the skill of being a salesperson to identify where the person you're talking to lands. Are they a little bit more logical, a little bit more emotional? But typically you use both tools.
Goes hand in hand, basically. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
In order for a person to purchase something, they usually think logically and they usually think emotionally as well. That's what you basically wanted to say?
Yes.
Understood.
And so logic is you're usually talking about making it very clear what the benefits are, what the problem they have is, what the difference is between what you're doing and any other similar product or service. And also you're highlighting, hey, if you don't take action, there's going to be a problem because you currently have a problem that you're not dealing with. This is typically how you're framing it so that you get them to move. And stories are really powerful for getting past the logical mind and into the emotional mind of the person. Because if you just say a bunch of statistics and features, they're just in their logical mind and sometimes they want to think about it. They're like, let me think about it. So if you can really get them into a more emotional state through a story that they can see themselves being in those shoes. Maybe you talk about a customer that you had before that had the same problem that they had. But once they found the solution, everything was so easy after that. Nice. And so if they can feel, wow, that is me, I want to be the happy customer at the end, it gets them into a more buying state.
So what I understand in summary is, I think if someone wants to buy something, basically they have to internally answer these two questions, maybe the logical part and the emotional part as well. Emotional part comes with the basically story, getting connected in the story part. Emotionally, like why I want to buy this particular product. Is there something like which I've stuck with something, or there's a pain where this particular product is solving me that particular problem, something that I'm just saying that why will someone buy a particular product? It's like I got to know that is it like one is the logical part and then this is the emotional part. You told that emotional part can be handled by just giving good stories and helping them to connect a story part, right? So that is how I think sales will happen. Parallelly, you just have to balance both the logical and the emotional part. Then only your sales will just move to your path.
Yeah, you need both components. It's both are necessary and sufficient ingredients to
Okay.
have an effective, consistent conversion for your sales.
Interesting, yeah. And I see that you told me you were part of like a psychology also. You just studied some psychology. Did you study something on psychology?
So yeah, I'm a big student. I've never had any formal schooling, like taking a college course on it, but I've been a student of the mind for 15 years. So
Interesting.
it's reading books on it. It's also been doing my own experimentations, meditation. So there's introspection and mindfulness, so that when I'm going throughout the day, for example, even like if I would be on Instagram and I see an ad and I'm in a sales funnel, I'm being aware of my internal psychology of how what they're doing is affecting me. And if it works really well, I'm like, ooh, that tactic they just used works so well on me. And I'm kind of analyzing it of like, why did that work? So I can understand the mechanism, the pattern. And now it's a tool that I can put in my tool belt and I can use when I want. So it's being really curious about how do humans work? How does our psychology work? And how can we use that for sales? So that when I'm going throughout the day with that curiosity, I can start to see the patterns and equip them as part of my skill set. So,
Interesting, yeah. I think
no
this is
formal schooling, just the school of life.
understood. Let's take like this. If something on psychology, what is the one event or something which will make a better salesperson? If I say in simple words, what is that one psychological whatever it is something where it will make the product, it will make you a good sales guy. If you wanted to sell better, you told that even psychology also plays a good role, right?
Yeah, I hear you. So one thing is conviction. They talk about how sales is a transfer of emotion, enthusiasm, conviction. And so people are really good at having a sensitivity to other people when they're communicating if they have conviction, if they're actually believing what they're saying.
Okay. So,
And
in
so-
summary, everyone should have some conviction in order to buy your product.
Yes, that's the what, but the more important question is like how? How would I get conviction if I'm a new salesperson and I'm
Right.
starting out? How do I get conviction? Because there's ways you can do it just by your tonality, for example. A lot of people who are uncertain, they happen to go up in their tone, and so they're like, "You should buy my product. It's really good."
Okay.
And this typically is heard as, doubt. It's not confidence. It's not certainty. So that's just one little trick. It's like a hack. You can hack the sound of confidence and conviction by saying, downtone. This product is really good.
Oh.
You're gonna love this product so much. It's gonna solve all your problems. Like this down. It's gonna solve all your problems. That's a question. So that's the hack. But the real thing is to actually study and go to the top salespeople and say like, why is this product good? Like, what's the benefits of it? And to actually develop a true conviction of why the product is good at solving problems. You can go back and read customer testimonials of people who love the product. And by reading that, you're filling your mind as a salesperson with so much evidence of how what you're doing is helping people. So that when you're talking to someone that's like, I'm not sure that I should do this, you're like, I know 100 people who are happy to do this. Let me tell you about them. And you're convicted because it's not some idea. It's like, no, this is real people we've helped. We've fixed their problem now and we can do it for you. So if they can develop that conviction by actually studying, why does our product work? Why is it great? Why do the other competitors not so good? The other person will feel that. It'll be through their tone, through their body language, through their eye contact, everything.
Nice, yeah. This is so insightful. Like, I got to know that in summary, it's like a hooked concept. Hooked in sense, there's a pain and there's a product which is solving this problem. And there's a dopamine release by using certain product, maybe a product or services. And if it's basically solving the problem, it gives you a dopamine release saying that, oh, nice, I'm feeling good. So every time the pain is occurring for you, you'll be basically using that particular product itself. That's the ideal psychology of why people buy a certain product. Basically to release the dopamine of that particular pain coming out from that particular pain, right? I understood that. So whenever a new guy you have to pitch, you're basically showing the proof of work saying that these people had certain problems, they use the product and they're happy. saying that this is what the testimonials say that, and you guys also actually suffering with certain problem, and this is the right product for you guys to take it and just use it and come up with a flying class, right? I think that's what I understood. It's very good insight what you told, that tonality also will actually help to pitch the product in the right sense and give the conviction for the user to take and use the product itself. And you just told me that you've read like couple of books, right? If I just want to ask one book, like everyone has to read it, like just can't miss that. And on the day of deathbed also they should not leave that book. What could be that book?
Well, since we're talking about sales, because there's tons of great books on many subjects, but for sales, personally, I appreciated the book called Question-Based Selling by Thomas Friese.
Okay. So can you just help me just break down what does the summary of this book says?
Yeah, it's really equipping you with the mindset that questions are going to be what lead you to the sale. When you can ask effective questions and in the right order, you're going to guide the prospect through a journey that feels very natural. And it also gets them to see that they do have a problem that they need to solve, and that you have a solution, you're a good fit, and that there's no reason not to get started today. And that if they don't get started, there's going to be bad things that will happen because the problem will continue and they're not going to have the solution. So it's really, for me at first, I was kind of like that level 1 salesman where I was just going out and blah, like here's the product, you should buy it, blah, and trying to do volume, like knock, 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 call. But it was not really working. So I had to learn how to use questions to get the customer to start to talk more and to share their story so I could understand where they're coming from and what their pain was and what their goals were. So I could say, oh, that's perfectly aligned with what we're doing. But before, it was so hard before I got the question-based selling. So that would be my book recommendation. Go check it out.
Nice, yeah. I think it's an interesting one. I think I'll definitely do read that book. But like, let's come back to the story, like where we met, right? Like, we are in the network school. I just have a couple of questions, like what made you to take a decision as a long-termer to stay in this network school? Like there should be some motivation for you, right? Like from inside there's something like someone is pushing you, hey, you take it for 1 year. That is what a long-termer does. Like he stays in this place for a year. But I just want to understand the motivation, what made you to push to just be a part of network school for a year?
Yeah, the term has come up, dark talent. And at first I was like, what even is that? What is that term? And someone explained it to me as essentially like being rejected by the West, right? The West, for one reason or another, did not receive this talent. And I come from the West, from California, but part of my story is that I went to college in China. I applied only to 6 universities for engineering, and I had good grades, but the California schools said no. They said, you're not going to be admitted to this school. So I'm like, okay. And I was going to study abroad in China because I was doing Chinese in high school. I ended up going freshman year to China. So I ended up becoming a type of black or dark talent, a black sheep, if you will. And why I'm sharing this is because I've always kind of been against the grain. I've always kind of thought differently and been an outlier. And so I'll lead that into one of the reasons why I came to network school. And then the second big reason is if you've ever read Atomic Habits by James Clear, he talks about the idea that he doesn't want to rely on his discipline and his willpower because those can go up and down. It's harder to be consistent if you're just using your discipline and willpower. So what do? How do we fix that? He talks about designing your environment to make doing the good habits easy, and doing the bad habits, there's resistance. It's hard. In 2 words, environment upgrade. That's the point I got from Atomic Habits. So when I heard about what the network, state, and school is doing, for me, it checked off so many boxes for an upgraded environment. So that's why I decided to sign up be a long-termer. The environment of the people, and also in terms of like the lifestyle, the earn, learn, burn fundamentals is really great for builders, for creators, for people that want to make a big impact and make progress.
Fair. I think you have a good point, like saying that just improving my surroundings will actually move my learning a big upside. There's a lot of potential. That is what, in summary, the place is about, right? But like, have you have any plans, like what you want to do or what you want to build in this 1 year? Like, do you have any particular plans? You want to teach something to people about your all the insightful learning, what have been for past 15, 20 years? You want to teach something like that?
Yeah, right now I applied for the NS trainer role.
Okay.
So I will be waiting to hear back, and upon getting hired, I'll be managing the burn, so all the fitness aspect. And I'll also look to help with the onboarding process so that when they come in, they have an amazing experience coming in and they get ramped up and they're starting to be in this new lifestyle and it feels great for them. They're connecting with others, they're getting a greater physique, greater mental clarity, they're building their business, they're identifying limiting beliefs and deleting them. So
Nice, interesting. Okay, I think this would be my last question. If you want to tell one thing, like one event or certain thing which happened for you, which actually changed the perception of life, like one thing, any event or any particular scenario you can say, which has happened to you, like it made you a better person or in the right direction.
yeah, well, that's a great question, and there's lots of different life experiences I've had.
What could be the recent one, like before NS, something like that, which made you to think to take a part on in network school for a year, or it could be a year and a half back, like something happened which changed your perception of life. This were your priority, and now you're just changing your priority to something else. Like some people, maybe like today I am just running away on certain things. Maybe after a certain time I might be just moving to something else, right?
Yeah, okay. So in terms of recency bias, and you brought up if something related to a recent network school stuff. So it would be the network school. The third thing that I can put as being, the dark talent, upgrading my environment, you don't know what you don't know. This is something my father has told me several times to drill in me, that there's some things that we know that we aren't aware of. Like maybe I don't know how to make sushi. I know that. I know I don't know how to make sushi.
Right.
But there's some things I don't even realize that I don't know. And coming into the network school, there's stuff about the template of building a new country. I had no idea really that they were doing this. Right. And people watching this might even not understand what I'm saying now. So you can go look up Balaji and see what he's doing with the network school and the network state model. They're making a new country, just like we've had a new currency with crypto. And just like the internet created a new communication medium, it's similar, and it's going to have a big impact as far as the earth becoming more efficient with the way that we operate. So that has been an event recently that changed my life, is coming here and learning about the things I didn't even realize I didn't know. And the reason why that's so important for me and for everyone watching is that it's going to be happening. It's going to be impacting the world. There's going to be waves that come because of this. And not only is there good impact, but there's a lot of other things like these legacy, older nation states like the USA, other countries that are operating on the old model, where there's going to be more problems, it looks like, occurring. And so there seems to be a big transition point, and I didn't fully understand that, and now I do. So this experience of learning that has changed my life. It's given me the opportunity to better position myself during this massive change that we're going through in the 21st century.
Interesting. I think you actually gave an overview or a macro view of what network school actually does here. It's people with different domain are coming here. Dark talent people are coming here, working along with few people or exploring, teaching, burning. The concept of network school is learn, earn, burn. And it's a loop. It's a good loop where all the good habits are near to you, means you just will be adopted easily. All the bad stuff are just being far. Like you don't drink here, you don't smoke here. Very few people I see people do here, right? That's the nature, right? When your people around, smarter people around, you'll be the sixth one in the room who's the smartest one. That's what the network school is doing. We all are doing, right? And every day we go through a lot of sessions. Like I met a psychology guy, I met a sales guy, I met a developer, I met people who are working on different projects. Like you told me something that you'll think like, oh, you didn't even know this. They were existing, right?
Yeah.
There are projects which I never thought this could be a project at all. People are solving so complex problems where somewhere people might be thinking, oh, this problem is not a problem at all. I think this is a place where you'll see the micro and macro level of problems and people working on the solution. That's a big advantage of the place. And as I said, we all do enjoy as well. We just meet, we have parties and all. I think it's sad that it's coming to end. Like we just had a deep conversations and insights about the sales and psychology, how things go hand in hand. But as we might plan something else again to come up with another podcast about sales or psychology and understand more insights about how sales and psychology go hand in hand, how to improve the sales and how as a person to just make himself psychologically good so that in order to place him in the right direction, right? This and all we can do. I know we have had a couple of discussion on this, insights on the human psychology as well. We can do that, definitely we can do that. But I really appreciate Brax to be part of this podcast and giving us a deep insights on the psychology and sales. I really appreciate Brax. I think I'll be very happy to see you around in another podcast. And until then, guys, see you around. Brax, want to say something at last?
Yeah. So thinking about when I was at Yelp in that transition from doing sales at a big corporation that I have a consistent, safe paycheck and going out to do something on my own, right? It was a risk. And so my advice to people, like I looked at, what is the worst thing that could happen? What is the nightmare? Because I was scared. I was scared to take this risk, but the only reason I was able to do it is because I wrote down like, what is the worst thing that can happen? And then if that happens, what will I do next to recover? And what's actually more probable that will happen? And so writing that down, and this is from Tim Ferriss. He has the fear-setting questions, if you can look that up. 7 fear-setting questions. It's from his 4-hour work week. They got me to take the leap and actually go start my own business. And even though that business didn't continue on, I learned so much from that. And it got me to move on and gave me some other opportunities. So my words of advice are bet on yourself, be willing to take calculated risks, and you'll find oftentimes what you're fearing often way over exaggerated in your mind. So
I think one common thing me and Brax had, I think I was a product manager like a couple of months ago. Like it's been almost 1 month. I just left my job. I left a job without having any backup. And there's a particular thing where I read in one of the books, I don't remember. I think there's something called as margin of safety. The margin of safety says that if you fall something, what would be your bedrock? My bedrock was like I might just land in another job. That is what, right? Like you made a good name, the company, and you want to try something else. I'm like, okay, fine. Most of the people told, no, this is a wrong option, what you're doing. Like most of the traditional people want to just jump one job to other job, doing nothing. Doing many things in that particular role. But I just chose not to do that. Take a break for a month or 2 months. Being part of network school, something that I am like, most of the people like, why you're just wasting even 2 months? It's 2 months of salary. But the margin of safety concept just hit me so hard, saying that, okay, you are trying something new. And if you fail, this is what your bedrock would be for. Like you'll again start up somewhere in that particular role.
Yeah.
So there's no worry. It's just maybe a couple of pennies which you will be missing for this 2 months, but definitely you can fill with a lot of experience and new learning. That's where I always think like as we all grow, you should be able to take a better risk in sense like better margin of safety. Tomorrow, again after 5 years, I might be having the same scenario of leaving my job, but the bedrock would be a better position than the last 5 years back. Right? You should make the bedrock better and better, right? That's how you become successful in a business, whatever you do. You see, everyone just don't stick in the particular job and do certain things. I think you see Balaji, you see everyone, they parallel build their business, their own branding. As a person, they build a brand. Brags, they might be having brags for a sales or psychology, something like that. Dhanush, it could be something for the RW or something. So people should recognize on the work, right, that you can parallelly build, not just sitting in your own company, on the company where you work. That's all for this podcast, guys. I think we had a great insights on this thing. And last stretch, I think most of the people will enjoy this, the deep conversation like of taking a break or not taking a break and all. But I think a lot of people would at least learn something new from this particular discussion what we had today. Thank you, Brax. I really appreciate. And guys, next I'll bring a fun, more interesting talks, and let's see who's the next guest and understand something new and learn something new every day. Bye bye, guys.
See ya.
See you. Bye.